Tuning in to the online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows. Interviewing celebrities and showrunners. And bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Hey, AfterBuzzers! Thank you for joining us for another episode of ABC's Fresh Off the Boat. This is episode 8, Philip Goldstein. Please check us out on youtube.com/AfterBuzzTV. Comment, rate, subscribe. Find us on iTunes and SoundCloud and interact with us. I'm your host, June Lee, and you guys can find me at ms_June Lee.
Hey guys, I'm Kanika Lal, and you can follow me on Twitter at Kanika Lal. And that was Beastie Boys, by the way, the song.
Yes, I know. Love this episode. So what did you think?
I liked it. I liked it a lot.
Yeah.
I loved the guest star.
Yes.
Albert Tsai.
Is that the name of Philip Goldstein?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think he's a guest star, or do you think he's going to be a more like permanent fixture?
He was a guest star for today. He might be in more. I'm not sure if it was reoccurring, but he's like they're calling him the breakout star since Trophy Wife, and he like just landed another show on an ABC pilot. So. I love the duo today. That was like
that is so interesting. It's great to hear that like so many more Asian American stories, and there's Sony is, I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about this.
What?
There's like a pilot with.
If you know something that's out in the news already.
I don't know if that's in the news already.
If it's something that it's just under wraps and it hasn't been announced, don't say. If it's something that you're working with.
I'm not sure. So I'm gonna
conflict of interest.
I'm going to I'll come back to that one if I can share it. But yeah, it's just great to see that there are more Asian American stories and actors, and like, you know, I'm hearing like all these projects that are go now that Fresh Out the Boat is so big. So that's so exciting. I thought he was incredibly fantastic, and I love the storyline. I guess we could just jump into it now. And I love, because I was actually talking to this with somebody else, and you know, this kind of Asian kid adopted by Jewish family is pretty common, and so I actually didn't know that this was going to be brought up in Fresh Off the Boat. So it was incredibly funny to watch, and I really loved how, because like there's always like this kind of like running joke how Jews and like Asians are very similar in a lot of different ways.
Right.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. Like what type of Asians? Because Asians is huge. I guess like.
Okay. I guess Asians when you
refer to it, you're talking about like Chinese
like
or
East Asian. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because like you could also mean Southeast Asian, which is Indians, and Jewish and Indians also relate in a way.
Yes.
They say that they relate. I'm not sure. I mean, I think we all relate in every way. But
no, I mean, I'm talking about Asians pretty generally.
Right.
Yeah. Whether it's like Southeast, or you know, we all kind of like place a very high value on education. Yes. We saw that with Jessica saving money and being frugal, and you know, but they just got so many things right with Philip.
Yeah. Well, we can talk about how
let's kind of go through the episode. So Eddie's talking about still trying to find his kind of, you know,
connection with people
and his clique and his crew, because he's only been there for, you know, a couple of months, so he's still new, and he's just talking about how that's kind of tough, and his principal introduces him to this new kid. Yeah,
the principal, I love how like the principal, including all the teachers, knew that they would get along, or assumed they would get along, and paired them for everything just because of the same descent. Now, how's that happened to you in real life? Because I hope I can speak for many other Asians out there that like we're
tell me.
Oh, just like if there's like another Indian, or they're like, oh, do you know that person, that Indian? No, they're like, I don't know, they live in Alaska. How would I know them? Why do you think all Indians know each other? Well, I mean, it's just like the common conception that they have. Well, so I love how they played that part up on the show.
There is some truth in that, right?
Yeah.
I think there is. So it's kind of like both. So it was funny, and I thought it was truthful, and they're obviously kind of like poking fun at themselves, you know. And it totally is true. I think Asians do, and not even just Asians in general, but like Chinese people stick with Chinese people, and Korean people stick with Korean people. You know,
I mean, you find common interests, and you feel close to one another. Right. So why not?
Yeah, and I'm actually really glad, because when Eddie first saw Philip, his whole face lit up. He was really happy. I know. He was like so excited to have
someone he could connect with finally.
I know. And I thought that was great, actually, because it could have gone in another direction. You know, it could have been like, oh man, what, you think like I'm just because I'm Chinese, I'm gonna get along with Chinese. Like, it could have gone that direction. Right. And also it's interesting because it shows that even though he loves hip hop and he loves rap, he still identifies himself as Chinese. You know what I mean? So Eddie's very kind of happy with the fact that he's both. Right. And we get a glimpse of that more towards the end. But yeah, I thought it was, when Jessica sees, so obviously, now Eddie and Philip have spent some time together,
which they realize, well, while they're spending time, they realize they're actually opposites. Eddie's like, damn it, like, I guess I can't connect with this kid. In fact, they're so opposite.
I know, they're so opposite.
This kid likes to watch musicals.
Right.
And
Tolstoy and
investments
instead of bling.
Yeah.
Tolstoy instead of Beastie Boys. Was that when Eddie brought up Beastie Boys? I don't know. And
yes, it was.
It was like, I hang out with God on Friday.
Oh yeah, I do have. Yeah, shout out to the Jewish people who celebrate who do Shabbat.
Yes, I know. I just really love this. I love that whole dynamic. And then he's like, "Oh, you have stinky tofu, or like what do you?" And he's like, "Gefilte fish." He's like, "We're not getting along very well, are we?"
He's like, no, your company's undesirable. It's like, wow, what a burn.
I know, seriously. I love that. I love how he was so charismatic, though.
Right.
I don't know, like that accent. I don't know. I can't place that accent. It was kind of like a Chinese, Jewish kind of like.
It was proper. I would say he just was speaking very proper.
Right.
It would make any parent proud.
Yeah, I guess so.
Including Jessica. She was like.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Jessica meets.
Outside in the school.
Outside of the school, she's there to pick up Eddie, and she meets Philip, and she's super excited, right? Because she's thinking, okay, great. Now Eddie has a friend. Yeah. And then she's kind of fishing to see, like, oh, what kind of Chinese boy is he? Right. Is he a good Chinese boy? Right. And then he's like, oh yeah, like, I play the
I know.
Like
I love that interrogation. She was like,
know.
What instrument, how often, how much?
I know. He was like cello daily 5 times in a row. If I mess up, I redo. And she's like, oh my gosh, you're like my perfect
That's like
son.
the son that she.
Yes,
I felt like she didn't get, but in the end, of course, we realized that no, of course she's always happy.
I know.
But yeah, parents love feeding off of that. Yeah. Good boy, disciplined.
I guess so.
Kind of more, morality.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of sad though, and I do think that it is a thing where you compare.
It's less of a hassle for the parents, to be honest. The kids are responsible. Right. They're not getting into mishaps or trouble.
But it's not cool to do that in front of your child. You know what I mean?
What?
Like, I'm sure.
Oh, you're talking about Jessica in front of Eddie?
Yeah.
I feel like the relationship is so just like, I don't know, so.
I don't know. I felt the pain. I felt Eddie's pain. I don't know if it's just like
no. Of course, any kid would be a little bit hurt and feel like, okay, my mom is liking another kid more than her own child.
Yeah, literally.
But it's also Jessica at the end of the day.
I know.
She's
they do have a very truthful relationship.
They do. And they got closer because of it, which we'll talk about later. But that ending scene was like so heartfelt. I loved it.
So cute. I know. I loved it. But I have to bring up when Eddie is trying to like Dr. Dre, but he's a doctor, like the Wu-Tang.
I know, going back
they're
when
kind of Asian.
Yeah, because Eddie wanted to go to the Beastie Boys concert, so he was using any excuse for his mom to get there.
Well, any sort of like rap or hip hop concert he really wanted to go to.
I loved the Year of the Dog.
I know, that was very random. And then he's like, "'Cause I'm a G," or when
funny.
they were talking about the shirt, how he only buttons the top
and leaves open the rest.
I noticed that before they even mentioned it. And
I was gonna
bring it up. Yeah, like how his shirt was like, you know, super like gangster style, and he's like, "'Cause I'm a G," and she's like, "Why do you want a 2-point Scrabble letter? Why not go for Q?"
I know, that was hilarious. That was like a good. That was a good joke.
I love that humor. Oh my gosh, it's just so cute.
Yeah, that's a good joke.
I thought the whole Philip and Eddie, you know, thing at school was okay, up until the Pacific Rim Club. I was like, oh my gosh, it's so true. I feel like you know, they kind of do put you in a hole. Yeah. You know, like try to separate you. I don't know. We always talk about how like in each episode we talk about how there is like, haha, it's funny, yeah. You know what you mean, like stereotypes. They can laugh at themselves, but they do always sneak in like a real kind of, that's not cool. That's a little too far. You know what I mean? Like, for example, when, you know, Deidre was like, oh, she's communist, like, and, you know, things like that. Yeah. To me, that thing was what actually Pacific
happened,
Rim.
Right. Oh, for you.
Yeah,
okay, yeah,
To me, like, that was the Pacific Rim Club. Yeah, exactly. Oh, yeah. We've been hearing that there's a racist problem, and, like, so we're going to create this club for you guys. That's just you two. Oh, my God. I was just... Yeah. That was annoying. Anyways, and then we meet Wyatt. Yeah. So Wyatt comes into the picture. Because,
because from where we base off of last episode, Mitch left to go to his
the Golden
Lewis's enemy, pretty much. Yeah. Enemy's restaurant.
Right.
And we get this.
I mean, like Lewis did rip him off, but
Lewis did kind of steal the manual.
It's okay. It's okay. They were overpriced. They were greedy. Yeah. That's what happens in America. If you're greedy, you're gonna get ripped off.
True.
I don't know.
True. Sure. We'll go with that. No, but. This hunk, this like angel comes in. This like I thought he was so
Wyatt.
Good looking.
You like Wyatt?
Yeah. Are you kidding me? I was like, no wonder Lewis can't fire Wyatt. Like even Mitch agreed. Those dimples
are. Oh my gosh, those dimples are very cute.
Wyatt is a hottie.
I don't know. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, he's very cute.
I mean, he definitely charmed all of the customers. I love when he like used his rope to
his lasso
pull away the chair.
Yeah,
that was genius.
Yeah, I guess
he definitely played up the part of the restaurant. I mean, it was like he did fit perfect with the theme.
I thought it was very funny when because he was obviously very well. He had amazing experience. Like he worked at Spago, but he was like, well, how did he he had this like weird way of saying it, and like he had worked at the Four Seasons, but he's like Quattro Seasons. Like I just thought it was so cute. He was very cute.
Yeah, he was lovable for sure. Yeah,
but I love how Lewis was like, I don't have a hat. You can just immediately tell that he was kind of like threatened.
Yeah,
and kind of
exactly
jealous and yeah, I think I love this show so much. It's just such a cute, funny. You love the characters so much. Like the writers do such an amazing job of creating just these like super lovable characters.
Yeah, and they're growing and they're developing through each episode, and we get to learn a little bit more about them. So
yeah, that whole thing with like Mitch, it was so hilarious when he came in with like his bike suit.
Yeah,
and he had like that roll sticking out, and he was wearing that ridiculous.
But he thought he was getting in good shape, though.
I know. It was very funny, very funny. So Evan and Emery, we see a little bit of them here. You know, I don't know what the deal with the hedgehog was. What was like what was the hedgehog? It was like running for president or something? Is that what they said?
It's just one of their quirks that they do.
They were just playing around.
Busy, but I loved how Lewis couldn't even pretend to fire his own kids. I know. Because they really are too adorable.
I know. Evan, he was like, Evan, you're just too cute.
Get away. And Emery's like, I don't have a butt.
I know. He's
where
like,
did that come from?
I know. Seriously. Like, Emery's just so random. But yeah, I love how Jessica is just so, you know... And it's so weird because if you want to be cut and dry, it's very kind of off-putting, right? You know, very... Like, Jessica's character, or any of their characters, can be off-putting in some way. But that's kind of like what we love about them. But her kind of obsession with, you know, like, oh, Jewish family, Chinese boy, oh my gosh, the world is such an amazing place. Like, you know, it can be kind of off-putting to Eddie and to the viewers, but she's just so funny, and like you really kind of you just kind of feel it is coming from, I just want the best for my kids and for myself kind of place, so you don't hate her for it, which I think is interesting.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I mean, we get that experience when she's with the family at the Goldstein's house.
Yes.
Because, well, we should backtrack a little bit back to the plot of Eddie. So pretty much he uses Philip to go to the the Beastie Boys concert.
That's coming up, right. So it's Shabbat, and the Goldsteins have invited the Huangs over, and so they're kind of talking about like things that they can't do. You know, they can't use money, they can't drive, they can't use electricity. So like Philip says, "I Ray Charles did." When he could, because like Eddie's like, dude, did you like not even use the restroom, like the lights? And he's like, yeah, I just Ray Charles did. I thought that was really funny. I
mean, know that he's a really good cello player,
right?
Philip.
Oh yeah, we didn't even talk about that.
Yeah, that was a great performance, actually.
I wonder if that was real.
I thought I saw a tweet by him that he was actually playing cello, but I don't want to say that just yet. I have to look back. But
wow, that was very impressive. If it was,
I know
that was insane. And then of course, Louis is like super supportive of Eddie having a friend, and so Eddie and Philip go to see Les Mis with the promise that Philip promises Eddie that if you go see Les Mis with me, because my parents can't drive me, I will go to the Beastie Boys concert with you. Just goes to show how quick that mind is thinking, right? I mean, and Philip obviously has control of that family, which is scary.
Right.
A little bit like reminds me of like that Orphan movie.
Oh yeah,
right. Kind of that
creepy
thing going
little boys who manipulate. Oh yeah, let's not get into that. I'll be freaked out.
Yeah. So poor Eddie sticks through. I mean, like, Les Mis is long.
Yeah, I know.
Les Mis is really, really long.
It's not fair. I mean, Eddie had to go through all of that. And he bought the shirt. I mean, attempted to buy the shirt afterwards.
I know. With Jessica's money, by the way.
Yeah, and then the next thing you know,
Jessica gives Philip the money because she's like, oh, yeah, I trust him more, obviously. That's and then so Eddie just gets like totally thrown under the bus so many times, and he comes out and he's freaking out. He's generally, but he does a responsible thing by calling Jessica.
He does,
and Jessica's like, okay, I'm gonna put the blame on you because for legal purposes, which I thought was really funny. And they find Philip there, and Philip is just like, oh yeah, like I'm not,
I left because Shabbat was over and things like that. So obviously,
like,
Jessica,
I got what I needed.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he
so
ditched.
I'm done. And so Jessica is like,
that those are not good values, like you ditched and you broke a promise. And she said, selfish. You're not a good Chinese boy.
Yeah, you're not a good Chinese boy.
That was a moment when Eddie was like, he felt finally, my mom's proud of me, and she probably realized herself that what was I thinking? Just because he plays a cello 5 times a day doesn't mean he has good morals. So
I know
that was a great moment.
It was a great moment, and I love that when they're walking back towards the sea, down the street, and like we see like what they're wearing. I love the fashion. They do such a good job of really, like capturing the era. Like whether it's the music or the fashion, you know what I mean, just kind of like the sensibility of it. I loved her like khakis with her, like,
I know they definitely capture the 90s very very well. And just also another last point, just I love in the end when the narrator Eddie says, who knew that an Asian kid and a black kid could bond over white Jewish rappers.
Yeah, I know. And that's what America's all about, though.
It's just finding something in common to just relate with. And I think music is such a theme in this show and this whole season.
Definitely.
So it's really close to Eddie's heart, and that's a way for him to connect with people. So I thought that was a nice touch.
Right. Yeah. So, his mom feels bad and takes him to the Beastie Boys concert in Tampa, Tempe, I believe. Yeah. And he goes, I forget his friend's name, but he's repping the shirt. He's like, and then he sees the friend that, the black kid that he didn't get along with, and they bond, and like that's how we end, of course. And then we wrap it up with the Cattleman's Ranch. Mitch is couldn't fire Wyatt,
right?
And then Louis is like, well, you're gonna have to split the
and that's what got him
and
thinking,
okay,
you're leaving.
Yeah. So any news and gossip that you want to add?
Not so much, just about Albert's side, which we talked about, and like how he's starting in some new ABC pilots. Randall's going to be appearing on Wet Hot American Summer in July on Netflix.
Good.
And also, did you know that Ian Chen, who plays Evan, is a singer?
It doesn't surprise me.
He is a
Asians
singer.
love to sing.
Yeah, he has a good voice. He had an interview on Hallmark Channel, and he was singing The Warriors by Imagine Dragons. So I think they're going to use a little bit of him and Constance's talents. I love learning about all these talents of the actors. I think even Randall, he was in this rap group back in the 2000s.
Really?
He was a rapper himself.
That is so interesting.
There was an article on Rolling Stones about it. So he's like, I'm done with my rapping days, but I used to be a rapper. So I love finding these hidden talents with the actors.
I love that.
It's great.
I would love to see Randall rap. I would love to, like, the whole family do something, like a family talent showcase or something like that.
Oh, I'm sure, because they're all really talented.
They're all talented. Yeah. I wonder what Evan's just gonna be cute.
Well, Evan can sing. Like I was saying, Ian Judd.
Right.
You mean Emery?
Yeah. Right.
Probably like another,
maybe
like a dancer.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Maybe dancer. Well, we were running a little bit late, so we had to wrap it up quickly.
Yes.
But
Any quick predictions?
Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh. I just want to see. More Philip. I thought, like, you know, when he was talking about the Follies in the spring, like, I love his character. I hope they bring him back. We're gonna have Luna back in the studio next week.
Speaking of Luna, I think that Nicole and Eddie might have a little.
Yeah.
Who knows? They might have a little date or something.
I think next episode we'll see.
She'll give him a chance. I think
we'll see something between Nicole and Eddie.
That would be nice.
Next episode.
That would be nice.
Yes. So thank you guys for joining us. You guys can find me at ms_June Lee on Twitter and ms_June Lee without the underscore on Instagram. And where can we find you?
You guys can find me on Twitter at KanikaLal and Instagram at KanikaLal1.
Yay! Thank you guys.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.